how do you feel right now as one of the hosts of Mets'd Up about this Mets team? Like, what is the current pulse of where you're at? As, of course, the team heading into the season had the highest of expectations. They carried that for a while. They had the lulls. And now with the youngsters coming up, are you back? I don't want to say on the bandwagon, you watch every pitch, but where are you at?
I go back and forth every single day with this team. I can watch games one day and be so back in, and then, like a Mets fan, watch them play one bad game or one bad series like they did against the Marlins and think, well, I don't really know how much noise we can make. I don't know. It's a bizarre team in that the young guys being called up has made me really excited with Tong and McLean. I think they were a little bit of a youthful spark that this team needed, brought some energy, and they're some of the best pitchers on this team right now. The offense is finally clicking, but the pitching is really scaring me with Manaea and Kodai and even Peterson struggling a little bit. Those guys just simply need to be better if we want any chance at all at making a run.
All right, well, then let's dive into it. I mean, you start with the most recent, where Carlos Mendoza said, we're not really sure where we're going with Senga. Like, do you believe that the route is blow up the rotation, have everybody go for a month of tryouts and say whoever does the best in the next month is our guys? Do we trust anything besides David Peterson and the rookies? You got to start with Senga. Do you agree with Carlos Mendoza?
I do, actually. I think right now with what we've seen from Senga, it's pretty tough to rely on him to be a game 2, game 3 starter in the playoffs. And we know that he's had some up and downs with injuries. He's had a bit of a weird couple seasons with the Mets with, missing time. But at this moment right now, with how funky and kind of hyper-specific Kodai seems to feel within tune to his body, he's talked about it after the game. He's like, I'm working extra hard to make sure my body's working right. It doesn't seem like everything is going properly for Kodai Senga this year. And if he's not one of the 3 best pitchers, especially because the Mets look like they're going to be playing in the wild card series no matter what, I don't think you can confidently throw him out there in a game that has so much importance until he shows you something. And luckily, the Mets do still have a month left, and we have a little bit of a cushion. We still have the Reds, at the end of the week here, which could change things. But if Kodai steps up, I have no problem putting him back in that, game 2, game 3 role. But at this exact moment, I don't really trust him to get big outs in the series right now.
Why, the Mets trusted him last year against the Phillies. They ran him out there and pitched all year.
Yeah, no, I don't think we really had any other choice.
Now you don't trust him. What, did you ever think that the big bad Mets with their $700 million payroll would need 2 rookies to step in and save them? They were supposed to have, Frankie Montas and this guy and that guy and all these people they signed, and then it's McLean and Tang that came up and to save them.
Listen, I'd still rather have the $700 million payroll and still make the playoffs than have that disappointing season like the Braves did this year and look so horrible. Like, at least we're still there. So it's one of those things where it's like...
Listen, I'm a White Sox fan, Mark, okay? So let's just say there's no disappointment. They're having a way better year than they did last year.
They've got some fun players, Colson Montgomery. But no, seriously, like I didn't expect the young guys to have this much importance. I don't particularly like it. I'm glad that McLean has stepped up and shown that he's able to pitch in big moments and be one of our better pitchers. And I'm glad that we saw Tong come up and he looked pretty good against the Marlins, the only win we got against them in that series somehow. But I wish that the pitching was a little bit better. Just the fact that Manaea and Senga, like you mentioned, being the guys that are supposed to be the frontline starters, and even looking at Montas, who was supposed to be a big part of this rotation, the fact that we've gotten almost nothing out of them, and I Kodai a little bit more than Manaea, but the fact that right now we're kind of getting nothing out of them is terrifying as a Mets fan, something I do not feel comfortable with at all.
Set it out there. You brought up the game 3 starter for the playoffs today. Nothing changes. Everybody just kind of middles their way through. Soto has 100 RBIs in the month of September, and the Mets make the playoffs. Tell me your games 1, 2, and 3 starters.
I think right now it's got to be Peterson, game 1. I think game 2 would be Nolan McLean. And then I think you just go all hands on deck. Like, can we get one time around the order from Sean Manaea? Can we go Jonah Tong one time around the order? Like, we do have the option because of how the playoff format is, where if we were to get to a game 3, everybody has to be available. And the way that managers handle the postseason, typically they do go kind of a little bit crazy. And if you start to struggle at all, you come out of the game. The Mets will have a lot of arms if Peterson and McLean continue to do what they can do. Obviously, you're going to use some bullpen too in those games and things would change. But game 3, I would be leaning crazy enough. I think Tong, based on what we've seen right now, I feel more confident with him than I do Manaea or Senga right now.
Okay, so essentially you're looking for about 18 innings in 3 games from your bullpen, and we haven't even brought up your bullpen.
Well, that's another scary thing that's going on here is that a lot of the guys that we brought in, specifically Ryan Helsley, have been just really struggling to get any sort of outs, especially in big moments. Tyler Rogers has been good, but he is still giving up runs, whether it's doinky hits or bloops or anything like that. Still runs that are scoring. Like, there just hasn't been anybody that can get consistent outs in this bullpen that's not named Edwin Diaz or Brooks Raley right now.
All right, let's move to Soto. 36 home runs. Had a career-high 6 RBIs in that big win over the Tigers yesterday. He's a stolen base machine these days. That number's already a career high from him at, 26. And even for the homers, this is a tougher park to hit homers in, and he's at 36. His career high was last year at 41. When you look at his first season as a New York Met, how would you sum up his performance and contributions to the team? Should Mets fans be thrilled?
Mets fans should be thrilled. I think he's never going to be able to live up to the $700 million contract. It's impossible as a baseball player, unless you're Shohei Ohtani, who can literally pitch and hit and do things that we've never seen before. But for Soto, offensively, he is basically the same guy that he's always been. He's having one of his best seasons offensively. If you look at all the numbers around baseball, he's top 6, I think, in WRC plus in terms of run production. Even if you're looking at WAR for a guy who's horrible in right field defensively, he's still top 15 in the league. And what he's been able to do this past month and going into September now, really helping carrying this offense, is exactly what we paid him for. He's on pace to maybe even have a 40, 130 stolen base season. Like, we don't see that kind of stuff from players very often. I think Bonds and Griffey are the only guys to have those kind of numbers. So yeah, Juan Soto has been one of the most valuable players, I think, in baseball this year. If you take him off the Mets, this team doesn't even sniff the playoffs at all.
Who's next? Who's the next guy? Who's the next most valuable? Because I think it's a distant second place, but who do you feel like is the second most valuable player in this offense that's indispensable this stretch run here?
Yeah, offensively, I think it's Pete Alonso. As much as I think Lindor is probably a more valuable player overall, I think offensively, Pete Alonso is the next most valuable guy. Even the numbers he's putting up this year, still really good. A top 20 offensive player in the league. The power's incredible, as it always is. He's one of the best home run hitters in the game. And when he's not chasing, which he goes through spouts where he does chase a lot and he looks to hit the ball the other way a little bit too often, when Pete's on, he's a tough out, a tough at bat. And with Soto in front of him and Lindor in front of him, there's always guys on base, which is what you love to see if you're Pete Alonso.
We're throwing a curveball at you this week for our Arena Club segment, as AJ has opened up a Pokemon slap pack.
Is that how you say it?
Pokemon slap pack. Pokemon. Don't ask me to say what that card is, but what are you doing with that card?
I already sold it. Are you kidding me?
Back, baby.
I bought it, and then I got more money than I paid for the pack, so I sold it straight back.
You bought it for
$250.
You sold it for
$299.
And you can go get yourself something that you maybe know how to pronounce.
Yes, or know what it is. I just did it because I saw certain people opening Pokemon, and they were making money, and guess what? I got lucky. Made money off of it too.
Exactly. But of course, if you're into sports cards, that is something that you can find a ton of on the Arena Club Marketplace. Buy, sell, slab pack, trade. 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase can be had at arenaclub.com/foul and use the code FOUL. That's arenaclub.com/foul and use code FOUL.